Hello, everybody. Hope you're
Hey,
all doing well.
hey, gamers.
Oh, we got a very special stream today, guys. I'm joined by the man, the bear, the legend himself, Mochi.
That's me. I like visual novels.
I like visual novels too.
That's such a coincidence. Oh my god. Guys, you won't be able to guess what we're talking about today. It's kind of crazy.
Surprise, it's a visual novel.
Hello, mess, mess, God damn it.
Masquerado.
Masquerado.
And there's Golden.
Hey, Golden. Yeah, you have to forgive me, Masquerado. Names are not my strong suit.
Right, so for anyone that doesn't know what we are actually doing today, we have already done this kind of thing once before. Golden, leave Mochi where the fuck he is.
Yeah, I don't like tentacles.
Speak for yourself.
That's crazy. Yo, bearing a freak. That's. Oh my god.
Right, so if anyone doesn't
Tell
know.
them what we're talking about.
So, because I finished off Labyrinth of Grisaia, we're going to be doing what. Me and Mochi are going to be doing what we did after I had finished Fruit. We're going to be having a little chat about it. The routes that happened, maybe individual moments, stuff like that. We just kind of go through them one by one, just kind of real stream of consciousness type of thing.
Yeah.
What we
Nothing
liked,
really like scripted out or anything.
yeah, just what we liked, maybe what we disliked, and yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. Places Osco under a cardboard box held up by a stick with a string attached.
He's baiting us with a dead woman.
That's crazy. Oh, dude, I love it. We'll get to Osco, but just spoiler alert, love that character. Loved her. I guess we'll go ahead and start with Yuji's past.
Actually, I was thinking we'd save Yuji's past for last because it's the one's gonna have the most we have to talk about.
Oh, okay. All right. It's fair enough.
So I'd say we're gonna start with the after stories specifically.
Yeah, because these are like the sequel to Fruit, so they're like the natural like continuance.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
Yep. Go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think it's such a cool concept. Like I've seen visual novels do sequels before, but they've never done it like where they just continue a route that you've already chosen in the first game, and I just think that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. Again, for anyone that doesn't know 100% what's going on, this is gonna be a very spoiler-heavy stream, by the way, everyone. So if you want to play through Labyrinth of Grisaia without any kind of spoilers, this ain't the stream to be coming in on.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good thing you said that because I almost forgot.
So, obviously, because Fruit of Grisaia is a visual novel that has multiple routes that end in multiple different ways, depending on which girl you end up, going with, Labyrinth takes a different approach to a sequel to a visual novel. Instead of, alright, we chose one girl, that's the canon girl, we'll continue on from there and alienate the rest of our fan base. No. Labyrinth decided to go with, alright, here's a little bit of a shorter story about what happens after each individual route. Here's how the story continued after Fruit ended.
Yeah.
I've never seen any other visual novel do something like that. At all. But they do also have a main narrative as well, just focusing solely on Yuji that's unconnected from those, which is also interesting.
Yeah. And I just really like that they, like you said, they're not alienating anyone. So if you were like a big Michiru fan, you're not getting screwed over by getting into this game because you'll pop right into another Michiru route. That's a continuance from the first game.
Yeah, I've never seen any other visual novel do something like that ever. And I think Some of them will just go with the, he got with all of them somehow.
Yeah, which is just. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's a bit cliche.
It's like, not every VN pro tag needs to have a legitimate harem later.
Yeah.
Golden, what the fuck, dude?
Bro pulled his cock out on the table and he said, "It's time for me to choose." he said,
Okay.
"This is what Baron gets for choosing to collab with me."
All right. Well, he does lurk a hell of a lot, so it was only a matter of time.
Golden, make him play a hentai game on stream.
I can't do that. I will get banned.
Kami Fuda. Oh, I think you'll like that one, Baron.
I think you played that a little while ago, weren't you? Like
I did.
A while ago.
I did. It made me crash out because I'm bad at card games, but I imagine that you are good at card games.
Possibly. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. It's pretty cheap from what I remember. How much was it, Golden? It was like $10? I think. Something like that.
$12.49 Canadian, so that's actually not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he got it for me, and I felt so bad because I was just so bad at the game. But it was a fun little playthrough. I think you'll like it.
Okay. Throwing it onto the wish list for now so I don't forget, and I'll throw into my notes. That's what it's been redeemed. We'll throw it here.
Man, Golden really started off the stream with a power play.
I really did.
He said, "Baron, I think that's cool. You're sitting there collabing with Mochi, but listen, Kami Fuda."
Alright, there we go. Alright, in my notes, all set. So, yeah, cool. Expect that in the near future.
There you go.
I'll just have to finish off a few things first.
Yeah.
So much on the go. Oh, also, I've made it really quiet for everyone watching, so I'm going to do what I did last time and just have Orange Sunshine on loop.
Well, there we go.
I never swapped over my headphone stuff. There we go.
God, the Grisaia OST is so good. Ugh. Just hearing it makes me happy. Still can't decide, just a bit of a tangent, still can't decide if I like it, Katawa Shoujo, or Steins Gate more. They're all so good.
Ooh, that's a actual toughie there.
It is. Like, I've literally put it in my, I call it my trio of godlike visual novels, where I can't put one above the other, because they're all amazing for their own reasons.
They honestly, they really are.
Yeah. It's just impossible.
Katawa and Grisaia both make you think really hard about a lot of things.
Yeah.
In two completely different ways, too. One goes for the outrageous, route to make you think about things, and then the other's a more realistic approach.
Yeah. Freaking, oh my god. It's like I was telling you, like, that's what I love about Grisaia, is that it's not afraid to just be outrageous, zany, and just completely nonsensical. Mainly due to how old it is. It did originate from 2010, and it will show its age sometimes in some of the jokes it makes, which is unfortunate, but it's just, you just have to look at it as a product of its time.
Still very good, though. Still very
Yeah,
good.
it's still amazing.
Alright.
Don't worry, Mochi, you're next. That's crazy.
Alright, so what after story do you want to start with?
Let's see.
Let me get our boy.
Should we just get the worst one out of the way?
The worst one? What do you think? What's your worst one? And I'll see if I agree it's the worst one.
I feel it's Machina, right?
You're right.
Yeah, I was about to say, huh?
You're absolutely right.
was like, I don't know if we'll disagree on this. Now, the after stories, I'm a little fuzzy on, so you'll have to kind of guide me just a little bit.
Yeah, no worries. I can do that.
But I do remember Machina starts off kind of crazy with her, spoiler alert again, immediately gunning to playfully, jokingly try to assassinate her mother. Real casual like.
You know how it is.
Like, she's literally just sitting there, perched up there, like, taking drugs, like, alright, I'm just gonna scare her, and then she, like, nearly kills her, like, about, 12 times. Good God.
Alright, so we will start with the Machina after story. Do you want to do a quick summary of how her fruit route kind of went and ended?
Yeah, sure, let's go ahead.
Alright, go.
So,
feel free.
Alright, so basically, this is the arc where we're going to throw Yuji into a prison, but that we're going ahead of ourselves. So we start off with Yuji meeting Machina, and Machina kind of looks at him as like an older brother at first. As you're going through the common route, it's just about them bonding, and then Yuji showing her stuff that people weren't able to show her because she was scared of people due to her past experiences. And she kind of just sees Yuji as this older brother figure that helps her with various stuff. Like, he helps her catch a crayfish and teaches her how to feed it to change its color. And then when you actually start on her route, she's like, okay, you're my dad now.
Pays him I think it was around 200 grand, all the money she has, for him to literally be her daddy.
And then Yuji's just like, I don't even know how to compute this right now.
This man's barely a person, and now she wants him to be a father.
But then they do arrange to a certain extent a deal. If you'll help me with that, it was a deal where he does become her dad, but for a condition or something. I can't remember.
Don't really remember the condition exactly.
It's just, it was basically just a monetary deal where he helps her deal with her finances and stuff, I think, from what I remember. And then we kind of just go through that. And then it gets kind of crazy where, again, they're just bonding and he's just showing her stuff, just teaching her, teaches her to be a little bit of a soldier, a little serial killer, giving her gun training, nearly killed poor Michiru just walking across the yard.
Intermixed with teaching her how to ride a fucking bike.
Yeah. You go from, learning how to ride a bike, shooting someone. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Interchangeable, really. And then we start getting into the plots of where her mother is... I can't remember if her mother's trying to capture her or she's trying to kill her. I think she's trying to capture her first.
Yeah, fairly early on-ish. Well, not really early on, but partway through that route, she kind of sees her sister in the city, but doesn't say anything to her, and then a bomb goes off, severely injuring her sister, so her family wants to bring her back to become the heir to their international conglomerate again, after initially more or less writing her out.
But yeah, by the way, I do kind of wish we got to see more of her sister. I feel like that would have been some interesting plot lines, but can't really help it. She did just nearly get blown to smithereens, so...
True.
Can't do much with that, I guess. But yeah, we start getting into that. We start getting regular assassination attempts. And then Yuji basically tries to reason with her mother and can you guys stop trying to kill Machina? And then I think the mother's I'll do what I can, but in a very bitchy way. And then he's like, okay, leaves. Literally the next day, her life is tried again. I'm pretty sure, from what I remember. Like, her bakery sure.
Yeah, the bakery she works at as part of, her coming out of her shell, is a victim of arson, very clearly. And Yuji takes it as a sign they need to get the hell out of there. So he essentially, more or less, kidnaps her, then they go on the run. Evading literally everyone until eventually they're caught. Makina's severely injured, and he has to abandon her to, well, someone who can actually take care of her.
Yeah. That scene was cool, though, when Makina was able to defend herself a little bit, but then, sadly, reality came striking down.
She is a small child going up against two grown-ass adults with guns.
Yeah. And then, this is where the arc starts getting, like, really dark, because, like, Yuji then goes into serial killer mode at this point. Like, he starts going, like, rip and tear until it is done, and starts just going on a murder spree.
Threatens the mother at gunpoint to just stop this, and is about ready to kill her. That's when we're given the choice. We chose not to, so we run off after scaring the absolute motherfucking shit out of her. Mostly because the mom was going to use Makina as, quote-unquote, spare parts for her sister, who was sorta kinda recovering.
Which is crazy, by the way. Just probably the worst mother I've ever seen in visual novels. I'll be honest. I don't think I've seen a worse one.
Yeah.
Like, very easily.
It then jumps ahead about, I think it's like a year later. They're living in the States. Makina is now working under Yuji's agent number for, his entire government company, while Yuji's got a robo-arm now because the other one got shot off.
Yep.
And then that route ends there.
And then this is where Labyrinth kind of picks it up. We just start seeing Makina, like, carrying on the task as the new agent.
They go back to Japan so Makina can start taking tests so she can be an agent under her own number and under her own right, not just basically being the fill-in for Yuji, because he can't really do the same things he can anymore with his robo-arm.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good, but it's not 100% reliable.
By the way, there is some really funny gags with that robot arm. You probably remember it since you're so recent to it, but, like, there's a one where he's, like, shaking hands with Michiru, and he's like, oh, took my arm off. Like a whole panic attack. He's just like, whoops.
This was also, like, an after story where the two of them were apart for most of it.
Yep.
For a large chunk of it, Yuji is just back at the school hanging with everybody else that the two of them have never seen in, like, over a year now. So they're surprised the two are even back in Japan, or alive even, while Makina is off training to, get certified. It's interesting that they keep the two of them apart after the last route was him really kind of fighting to keep her close to him and, safe and together.
Yeah, I think from what I can tell from where they wanted to go, like, they really wanted to drive home that she is, like, a child getting, like training in the world of, like, living on your own. So I guess what they wanted to express is that she has become more independent, where she's going off and training on her own, and getting more used to working with her intelligence agents, as I like to call them, which is Chihara, right? I think that's her name?
Yeah. Chihara is her handler.
Yeah, which is the only thing we know about her, chat, is that she's got a nice ass, according to Yuji. That was not my quote, that's Yuji's.
Yeah, your assistant's got a nice ass, JB. I think she was actually introduced in Makina's route, too. Back in
Yes, she was. Nearly positive she was. And just, like, the interactions we get between Chihara and Makina are so great. Like, Chihara, it's just like JB and Yuji, because Chihara is just getting, like, gray hairs already just from dealing with Makina.
Which is quite impressive, because Chihara's hair is white.
It's already going even gray.
Oh, well, let me get her picture up, and I'll get JB's up as well.
Yeah.
Because her and JB are kind of a pair.
Also, hey, Nick.
Yeah, hey Nick, how's it going, buddy? Where's we could talk to her? She's over there. No, wait, right here. Or is she... Thankfully, I found a site that at least had all the character sprites from Fruit.
Yeah.
No Yuji. I had to, like, cut that out from something else.
I think to get, like, a reliable sprite of Yuji... Well, not even a sprite. To just get, like, a picture of him, I had to go to, like, the game itself.
What I found works well enough, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's him.
JB.
That's the boy himself.
Oh, I got so many sources. Trying to click on JB was a struggle.
God, why does JB gotta be so fine, man? Jesus Christ.
So yes,
by the way, guys,
JB with Yuji, that's JB is Yuji's handler, Chiata is Machina's handler. Chiata is JB's assistant, Machina is Yuji's little sister slash daughter slash lover slash I don't want to fucking know.
Yeah, the less you know about Machina and Yuji's relationship is probably the better. Just... You know, I don't want to call Kendrick or anything, but, you know.
Hers is...
For Yuji's sake.
Hers is just the most uncomfortable one to go through.
Yeah. Which, I mean, unfortunately, when you're in the business of visual novels, you're going to deal with one route like that, at least, usually every game.
Yeah. Yeah, usually. I think what kind of... Thank you, Nick. The perfect fucking sound alert.
Nick is on point with that sound always. He's like, I've got you.
I think it's my most used sound alert.
All girls equal smash or not? Okay, I'll give you those smashes right now. Amane, definite smash. I mean, listen, I don't need to explain it. You just look at her and you're like, yeah. Even the game.
It was Amane's VA's birthday the other day.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder how old she's turned.
My guess is somewhere in like mid-30s, possibly.
Yeah, even the game loves to stress to you how much of a smash Amane is. In the original visual novel, she has 5 sexes.
we'll get more to Amane once we get to her.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, I'm getting so blank on the rest of Machina's route on Labyrinth. So like, she goes to train. I can't remember anything that happens after that.
A lot of the time, it was Yuji just at the school, kind of talking with everyone and thinking, is this actually the right thing for Machina? Am I forcing her to become an assassin like me? Is it what she actually wants? What could I be doing better, kind of thing?
Yeah.
It's a lot of introspection and getting everyone else's, thoughts and opinions, and it eventually just comes down to him asking Machina again, is this what you really want to do? Like, legitimately, do you want to do what I did? I can't exactly remember her answer, but I think it was more or less yes. Or at least just whatever, just that would be good for the tomb or something.
Yeah, because the main thing I remember from Machina's route is she basically just becomes a mini Yuji, like, essentially.
Yeah, she's Yuji 2.0.
Yeah, which I think is a cool idea. I'm just not a big fan of the route itself because I don't know. It's just sus, man. It's just the sus. It's just the sus.
The highlight was the beginning when she goes to snipe at her mother's office just for kicks.
Yeah, I will say I did get a lot of good chuckles out of that. Just seeing her mother squirm and struggle for everything she's done was so satisfying.
After that, though, it was just kind of meh, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even remember the rest of the route, as you could tell.
And I think the part of that is just because Yuji and Machina are just separated for most of it. They're just apart. But I mean, what more can they really do to play off each other? How much more could their, like, relationship kind of grow from where we left off in Fruit? Like, what more could there be?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can really play off of with that.
It's just more of Yuji trying to legitimately be a good father, try to set a good example and set her up for the future. Kind of thing. Like, and I guess Machina is being like a daughter and trying to take after their parent, hence her being Yuji 2.0.
You know, I honestly think if Machina wasn't like painted as a route you go down for, like, to be with her, and it was just helping Machina mature, I think it'd be a much better route, and I'd be more comfortable talking about it. Honest to God.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, a bunch of just the Fruit route of her was kind of that, him helping her grow up a bit.
Yeah.
And then it got a little weird.
So, like, if you just take out, like, the sexual aspects and just the idea of Yuji being with her, I'd say it's a great route if you took that out.
Adding that in is just a bit.
It's Kendrick's getting called.
It's weird.
Yeah. So my overall, I guess we could do like a kind of like a rating of each of the after stories on like a scale of 1 to 10. That's what I usually like to do, anyways. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10. I'll be honest, honestly.
On its own, it's an absolute 4 out of 10. I'd maybe push it up to a 5 or 6 as a continuation of the Fruit route.
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
Taking the Fruit route into consideration as well, it bumps it up a little, because it does continue that story a bit more. Yuji's still thinking and trying even harder to be a good parent, an example. And I guess you could say Machina did mature a little bit. But in the year, time skip that had happened.
She's more independent for sure. That's the main thing.
She will actually go out of her way to talk to people now rather than kind of avoid it.
Yeah.
Hence her, partner that she at the military base she was training at, where she kept stealing his fucking food. Just casually stealing this total stranger's food.
I felt so bad for that guy. Oh my god. But yeah, overall just pretty meh. But like that's honestly like the worst of the routes. Every other route is great to amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Alright, so who I'm an owl right now. Who are we going with next?
Well, I picked the last one, so I think you gotta pick this one, buddy.
Alright. This one, we're gonna go with Yumiko.
Yumiko, that's fair.
It was the first of the after stories I went through. Because I did her Fruit route last, so I figured I'd do her after story first.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I do want to start us off with how this route starts in Labyrinth. I'll get to the summary of the thing in a little bit, but this probably has the craziest start to any of the after stories, and that says a lot.
This is Grisaia. We're saying a lot. We're saying this is crazy.
You literally start, and she's sitting there on the bed in a bunny costume. Just at the start. It was to the point where when I started it, I had to make sure I wasn't on the 18+ version when I was playing through. Because I was scared.
Oh, there's just so many moments in general where I just felt like there's not going to be just a shocking random sex scene appear in the Steam version, right? Right?
Yeah. Which, by the way, that is a sex scene, but I guess they just wanted to tease you a little bit and show you, like, this is the start of it. You can't get the whole thing, but this is the start of it.
Yeah, we don't see the sex scenes in the Steam version, but they did it. They allude to have done it. There's so much set up to it. They're doing the nasty.
Which, by the way, for anyone in chat that doesn't know, in the 18+ version, I think it started in this game, but you get extra sex scenes with all the side characters called Professor Dave's Masturbation Station, which I think is a pretty heat name. I think that's a heat name.
Oh my god. Did they have to include fucking Professor Dave?
They did, and he will literally narrate like how hot the girls are. It's
Oh,
kind of weird.
Oh, come
It's
on!
kind of weird.
Okay. You did most.
Anyway.
You did most of the summary for Machina's fruit route. I'll do the one for Yumiko's.
Okay.
And I'll not spend an hour and a half talking just about Yumiko's route, like we did for fruit.
Yeah.
God Almighty. Okay, so Yumiko, throughout the common route of fruit, is very antagonistic to pretty much everyone, especially Yuji, because he kind of goes out of his way to push her buttons. Like, very obviously, he just goes there to kind of piss her off, see her reaction. And, I mean, she'll swing a box cutter at you, but that's nothing to him.
Yeah, like, he literally just treats it like a toy.
Eventually, she kind of, sort of starts warming up to him, and then he's assigned as a bodyguard for her. Because her dad, finances and runs the school, essentially. It's supposed to be set up mostly just for her, but other people are there too, because it's weird for one school to have a single student.
Yeah.
So
the dad...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh. The dad, by the way, as we continue with this, you will learn is one of the most divisive characters in this game.
So he would go with her on her little trips out to just go and draw. They wouldn't say a word to each other because Yumiko wanted her quiet time, but eventually she kind of comes around, starts actually engaging in conversation with him, and actually enjoys his presence. Shockingly enough. Then, after a rainstorm kind of happens, she confesses things that happened in her past and why she's kind of so standoffish, showing her kind of bad child life involving her father being an absolute fuckwad.
Yup. Not even just her father, her grandparents, this random reporter guy that's harassing a child to just get dirt on the father. Like, it's just awful all the way around.
It's absolutely terrible. The only reason she was born was just because the dad wanted an heir to his company and was disappointed he had a girl. So she was kind of like shoved to the side, especially after his mistress got pregnant with a boy.
Yep.
Which they found out through a magazine and said reporter.
And it's kind of shitty, but like even to an extent, her own mother wasn't really there for her. Obviously, mother couldn't really help it that much because she was sick. But there was a time that I distinctly remember where her own mother says, "Why weren't you born a boy?" And it's just like, does she have no one on her side?
I think that was after her mother was hospitalized.
Yeah, and it's just like, it hurt. It hurt.
So she gets like a lot of self-confidence issues and stuff like that. And then that kind of turns into anger against her father and then by extension literally everybody else. To the point that she takes out that box cutter and slashes another student that she thought was a friend but was just there to get dirt. So that's when she got put into this brand new school that her father made to be kind of like this gilded cage for her.
Mihama Academy.
That's when her father decides she's got to stop pretending to be this, student or whatever and get into the real world by sending people after her when she goes on these little walks with Yuji.
Brilliant plan, by the way.
It's a stupid plan. Yuji always fights them off. Then Yuji gets fired, so Yumiko hires him herself, not under any orders or anything, like from his company, for him to actually guard her. She's like, I'm paying you right now, be my bodyguard again. And he's like, okay. Then it just gets to the point that they essentially kidnap Yumiko, more or less, to just take her away, to make her, maybe mold her back into the heir to his prefecture-centric company. Yuji,
then we get
being the absolute badass he is, chases them down on foot, on bike, in a stolen Italian sports car, and then hucks a frozen turkey into a jet engine.
I was about to say, you gotta bring up the turkey. You gotta bring up the turkey.
From there, they go on the run, just like in the Machina route, for about a year, actually. In Machina's route, they're only on the run for maybe a few months. Here, they managed to last a whole year, growing a hell of a lot closer, and Yuji really, really endearing himself to Yumiko, and then eventually coming up with a plan to ruin her father, so he'd stop going after her. Which they succeed in doing.
Yep.
And then their route pretty much ends after that.
Yep. And then that's where we lead. You know, the natural continuation of that is Bunny Girl Yumiko clapping in the shower. I can't get over it, man. Like, it's the start. It's the start of it.
Yeah, so then her after story is they're together a lot, but there are a lot of scenes that are supposed to be Yumiko doing things on her own and Yuji kind of peeping in on him because he's trying to figure out what the hell is she doing with all these girls that she doesn't want him to know about.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to get real life, like housewife experience and stuff because she feels like she doesn't know a lot. She's spent her entire life ruminating and hating her father and trying to find some way to get back at him. But they solved that. It's over a year later after that. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't know any other skills. So she's getting the other girls to help her. Doing stuff like learning how to cook. Things like that.
Yep. By the way, Yumiko is one of, like... Obviously, most of you guys know if you've ever seen me on the channel, you know that Sachi's my favorite. But Yumiko is, like... She is such an adorable girl failure that, like, anytime you see her try to do normal people stuff, you can't help but laugh and smile. It's so adorable.
Not best girl, but her route feels like the best one in Fruit.
It felt like that's what they intended to be the canon route. Obviously, there's no canon route, but, like, I feel like if you wanted to argue for, like, a canon ship, you could probably get away with Yuji and Yumiko. You could probably get away with that.
I could absolutely believe it, 100%.
Yeah.
Then in her good old after story route there, they go to like a hot springs. It's kind of like a little mini vacation type thing / date. I think more or less just to kind of get Yumiko to unwind a little bit. And they have some nice little sweet moments. They're just wandering around the little like hot spring town. Just taking in the sights, eating the food, relaxing in the multiple different springs. They're just doing regular boyfriend-girlfriend shit. They're just having a good time. Capping it all off with seeing fireworks at night on the beach that Yuji arranged to happen specifically for her.
Oh, I remembered. I loved that scene so much. It just was like... That was probably the best end they could have chosen for that route. Just having everyone happy, looking at the fireworks. It's just... But then it's those moments that you build up to that make Grisaia all worth it.
But then everyone else was also there and peeping on them and taking videos, and when she found out, the box cutter came out.
Yeah, and then she tries to kill everyone. Yeah. Oh
I think earlier in the route, too, they'd also taken some videos of her saying or doing weird sexual things.
Yeah, no, Yumiko's a freak.
She's an absolute fucking freak. Like, holy hell. And we mean that in the best way We mean that in the best way possible, too.
Yeah, they give you a bit more of that in Leisure of Grisaia, which is, like, that's why I wanted you to play the DLCs, too, because they give you, like, more character moments. But, like, in Leisure of Grisaia, she's literally shopping on a sex website.
After she went through an entire thing of being hypnotized, acting like a dog, and ready to put a collar on. She then goes out of her way after to buy a collar online. She liked being hypnotized into pet play.
Good God, Yumiko. Oh, man. But yeah, just Yumiko's route and just Michiru or Makino recorded it, and then Yumiko be like, "Huh, I'm gonna start cutting, start cutting y'all."
Oh, this remember, like this is post-fruit Yumiko, so she's not really always willing to pull out the box cutter. She got super embarrassed when she found that shit out.
Yep. Yeah.
This is a different Yumiko from the one in Route. She is very easily just like embarrassed and just like shying away from anything like that.
It's so funny because like Fruit Yumiko, like in the beginning, Fruit Yumiko is like one of the most coldest, like harsh characters in the series. But after everything, she's probably like the sweetest character. Truly and honestly.
No joke, honestly. It is such a stark difference. She went through the obvious development.
Yeah. If I had to rate her route though, honestly, probably like a 9 out of 10. Like I just loved it. That it is a lot of like filler, like like just having them like go through their relationship and stuff, but it's just wholesome and sweet, and I can't ask for anything more. So I gotta go 9 out of 10. I have to.
Honestly, yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's a actual very natural continuation from her fruit route. This is the de-thawed, sweeter, more easily embarrassed Yumiko, and she's still actively trying to change herself at the same time. She's trying to learn actual, like, real-life skills, because she more or less feels like she owes Yuji, but doesn't want to, like, outright say it at the same time. She wants to be a better person. She's no longer on guard all the time, ready to dismiss everything, thinking of ways she can get away from her father. That's all in the past now. She's like reinventing herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great continuation.
Yeah, it's just one of the best routes in the game, I'll be honest. But I guess to go to the next one, I guess it's my turn to pick. You know who I gotta pick. I gotta pick my girl. Sachi.
You gotta pick your girl. All right.
I gotta pick her.
There's your girl.
And I'll go ahead and give y'all the rundown of her backstory. Basically, TLDR made with PTSD. So she was actually used to be the childhood friend of Yuji, but after so long of being apart from each other, they eventually forgot. But when Yuji does arrive at the academy, he actually there's hints that he kind of remembers Sachi, but not completely. Like there's hints. Sachi remembers completely. She sees him and she's like, I know it's you. And she tries to drop hints for him. But, Yuji being the dense motherfucker he is, he's like, huh?
I mean, dude's barely a person when he walks into that school.
Yeah. But then we just kind of go throughout. And then, funny enough, what actually prompts him to remember is they play a game of hide and seek. I can't remember what they say. I think Sachi says, I'll hide in the usual place or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that, saying specifically I'll meet you at the usual place.
Yeah. So Yuji's he's having this panic attack because it's been a couple days and he still couldn't find Sachi. He's searching everywhere that he could possibly think of.
Yeah, to him the usual place was a classroom they kept meeting up at.
Yeah. It's only recent. It's only after this is Gas Mask Girl. This is her. That's the goat herself right there. Which, by the way, in that sprite, she's wearing the casual clothes that Yuji got her, but usually she's in a maid uniform. But I love her casual clothes so much.
I did the uniforms for the fruit talk, so I figured let's go cash for this one.
Yeah. But then Yuji comes to this realization only after he's gone through a couple of flashbacks. Then he's like, "Oh my god, it's that girl, and she's at the playground." So he goes all this way. It's like a couple of cities away, isn't it, Baron? From what I remember.
It takes a little bit of time to get there. By the time he gets there, it's the dead of night. She's been sitting out there for a bit, and it's at least rained once.
Yep. And when he gets there, she's just sitting there covered in rain, and she's like, "Oh, you found me!" And he's like having like a full-blown panic attack. He's like, "Are you fucking stupid?" And then we start getting into Sachi's backstory with her parents. That her parents very much loved her, but what happened? Shit.
They got a little caught up in extra work they ended up getting due to some publicity thing that had happened with another part of their family.
Yeah. And then during that's when she starts meeting Yuji, and then they start getting to be friends. And then I think after they had threw a birthday party for Sachi, but they weren't able to be there, that's when she just lost it. She just runs, and she tries to go find you.
No, it was the one year she didn't see them at all for her birthday because they were too busy caught up in the work. I think the only person she saw was her tutor or nanny. That was about it. It was the year after that. They didn't have any work that day. They said they were going to spend the whole day with her for it was her birthday, but she's just been so used to them ignoring them. She didn't believe it, so that's why she ran.
Yeah. And before that, Yuji said he was going to go away because his parents was going to take him away. We'll get into that later when we get into Yuji's backstory. But so she goes to the playground in hopes of finding Yuji. Doesn't find him. And her parents are actually right there. She's actually going to go back to her parents because she has this realization of like, oh, I was being silly. And as her parents were coming towards her, who else to ruin the party besides Mr. Isekai himself?
Truck-kun made an appearance.
Truck-kun himself come to crash the party. Mr. Isekai, the superstar.
Dad dies instantly.
Yeah, and it's terrifying. Like, the way they describe it, like Sachi describes it in her head, it, like, she's like, describes them as like broken toys. It just, it shook me, like reading that for the first time. And just, I think her mother got like forever paralyzed in like a coma, and she had to put her in the hospital, and just, that really messed up Sachi.
Yeah, her mother got like a few words out before she just passed out completely, and yeah, he's just been in a coma ever since.
And ever since then, Sachi took it upon herself to always follow rules, because when she broke rules and tried to do whatever she wanted, that led to her parents, one being killed and one forever, basically in a state of death.
Yeah.
And then, basically, to try to shorten the last bit of it, Yuji tries to help her get past her trauma. His best solution is, why don't I just blow up a school?
There is an actual reason for that, but we just gotta get past. We gotta
kind of move it along. So like short and sweet of it, he blows up a school, and then what's the last little bit? They she gets the courage to meet up with her mother again, and then she opens the garage and sees the stuff that they left for her, letting them know that they always loved her.
Yeah, her uncle had been holding on to a key for that garage the entire time, because at that point her uncle had become like her guardian, her legal guardian.
Yep.
So he gave Yuji the key because he trusted Yuji. And Yuji figured it was the time. He had it opened up, and she got to see the dust-covered decorations, every award and stuff she had ever gotten up to that point, all plastered on their, workshop wall. This is sitting there for all these years, and she never knew until literally that moment.
Yeah. I gotta be so honest, man. I cried when I saw that scene. It is so...
Dude, I cried too.
It's just so peak. It's literally the picture of the panda just going, it's just so peak. But yeah, and then after that, there's a cute little scene where if you can throw your shoe higher, you get to marry me. And that actually has a continuation into Sachi's story because her after story involves them getting married. Literally.
Literally, the entire route is to lead up to their marriage. They figured, let's get married now. Let's just do it.
Yep.
And everyone's just like, okay, sure.
Sure, why not? This is Japan. I guess you could go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, they're just kind of all for letting them get married now.
You will have to help me, though, because I remember there's a subplot. Like, they have to deal with something during the marriage. I think it's like yeah.
Kind of leading up to it, all the other girls are kind of sort of teasing Sachi a little bit. Because they all still have unrequited feelings for Yuji entirely. They still want him. But they don't want to get in the way of Sachi, but it's them, so they're going to kind of be a little fucking weird about it.
Yep.
So they come up with this wonderful little game / test for the two of them to take. Just asking them some questions to see what would they do, or do you know what their favorite animal is, stuff like that. Just, just like trying to be like do cute couple game. And it goes absolutely horribly wrong because none of their answers line up at all.
Oh, God.
The, number one thing that really kind of breaks the camel's back there is they're asking, if there is a dangerous situation, what would you want the two of you to do? Sachi's answer is, I would be right beside Yuji helping him the entire time. Yuji's answer is, I would get Sachi as far away as possible and deal with it myself.
And during this route, they kind of go down a situation where they do have to encounter that. Because someone plants a bomb? I can't...
Yeah. I'll get to that in a second. That just answer right there that Yuji gave shows how they view their relationship with each other in totally different ways.
Yeah.
Sachi sees them as equals that will work together on a problem together, while Yuji doesn't see them as equals at all. He sees himself as the guy that can solve the problem, the only one who can do it. She just needs to be away and safe as possible, not doing anything.
Still sees her as something that he's got to protect instead of someone that fights alongside with him, essentially.
And back to what you were saying about a thing they had to solve. A few times throughout the route, there's mention of some random bomber in the city. He's just planting bombs in the city, and the ones that have gone off so far have been complete and utter duds. They haven't done anything. Nothing at all. One guy randomly, when Sachi and Yuji are out in the town, because the entire town knows they're getting married, and kind of sort of like hint, hey, can we come? Can we come to your wedding? Come on, let us come to your wedding. We'll give you more free stuff. While that's kind of happening, and Sachi is sort of preoccupied dealing with the crowd, one random guy is just like, oh, you guys are getting married? Tell me, would you do anything for her? If you had to put your life on the line, would you do it for this girl? And Yuji's just like, yeah. Like, no hesitation there. And he's a little like, why the fuck is he asking this? Then the guy walks off. Come the day of their wedding, someone reports in that they planted a bomb inside the church they're in. Or at least is going to deliver a bomb to the church, which does show up inside a box that Michiru grabs and then has to stay perfectly still so as not to set it off.
Yep.
The two of them together, because Sachi comes back after initially being told to go away, helps Yuji with it. Because he's trying to change himself to kind of actually see her more as an equal, and Sachi's trying to prove that she's an equal to him.
I think she actually helps defuse the bomb, if I remember correctly, right?
Well, the first bomb that they have there was actually a dummy. It was connected to absolutely nothing. It was just made to look like it was a bomb. So everyone thinks it's like, alright, that's nothing. But Yuji kind of gets this thing in his head like, no, he wouldn't do something like this. This would be like, what, the third or fourth bomb he's planted that has done nothing?
Yeah.
Something didn't feel right with him. Then that same guy who randomly asked him that question out in the middle of the street calls them, taunts him, and then tells him, "Oh yeah, I actually planted a real bomb this time. It's in your little room you're in right now, inside a vent. But good luck getting it. It's really far back there in a really tight space. I don't think you can get it in time, man."
Yep, I remember this.
Have fun.
And then, it's a tight space. Yuji can't fit down there, the big brawlic man he is, so they gotta send down.
It would take too long for the bomb squad to come back and send a robot down there to try to grab and defuse the bomb. Because JB's here too, is both like Yuji's guardian and because, she was there when when the first bomb thing happened, so Ichigai is on high alert as well.
Yep.
Because one of their operatives is, under threat.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Sachi goes in there. Yuji decides to put his trust in Sachi, that she would be able to get in there and defuse the bomb, because they've kind of practiced for fun, defusing bombs. Because Yuji's a soldier at heart and tries to get everyone in on his fucking soldier RP.
You guys will follow my RP because I said you will. It's fun.
So Sachi actually manages to reach the bomb, but she can't defuse it. So her next best solution was take the bomb with her out of the vent to give to Yuji to figure out what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
Which his solution is run to the kitchen as quick as he can, throw it inside of a massive fridge, just brace himself against the door and hope for the best. And it works. The bomb goes off, he's a little hurt, his ears are ringing, but the building is still stable. He's alive, they catch the bomber, Sachi goes and checks on him in her dirty and now ripped wedding dress.
Yep.
And after fixing it, using parts of her maid uniform, which is absolutely fucking adorable, I love that.
That's just Sachi.
They get married. And then it cuts ahead a few years with their daughter.
Oh, I love the ending so much.
Just kind of like talking about stuff, looking like a picture on the wall of the wedding day. And then it like cuts over to a picture of little Sachi with her parents as well, and Sachi just quickly talking about her daughter's grandparents and what kind of people they were. That broke me. The minute that fucking picture fucking came up on screen, I broke.
I'm telling you, I saw that and I said, this is peak writing. This is peak writing. Also, just real quick on the bomb thing, I love that they show Sachi's growth, because in the past, Sachi would have just tried to defuse that thing no matter what. But she realized after fiddling with it a bit, she's like, I can't get this. I need Yuji. So I thought that was great growth that they showed on her part. And just, Yuji doing his usual, quick thinking and knowing what to do with it. It's just amazing writing you have to appreciate.
Yeah. She grew more from what she used to be. He's grown as well. He's finally actually seeing her as an equal and not something to protect. Mm-hmm. Which I think is kind of the whole point of that. You're supposed to see each other as, one and the same. We can do this together. We are a couple. We are together. We trust each other. We're stronger together than we are apart. We can carry the load as a team.
And if I had to rate this route, come on, guys. For me personally, come on. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a 20 out of 10. It's a perfect continuation of Sachi's route. Just shows exactly the growth that they showed. You get cute moments. You get the marriage scene. You get to see their daughter. It's perfect. It's sublime. 20 out of 10. Not 10 out of 10. 20 out of 10. I'm sorry.
It's a fucking fantastic route.
Yeah.
Even give all the other girls a little bit of closure, because just before the wedding was first going to start, before the bomb things started happening, They all got their final feelings out to Yuji and got to hear him say, pretty much, thank you for letting me know, but Sachi is the one for me. He gave the other girls some closure. I don't think any other route kind of did the closure thing like that.
No.
He wasn't an ass about it either. They were being sincere with him, so he was being sincere with them.
Yep. Just peak. That's all I could say. I hold my hands in the air and I say absolute cinema.
Alrighty. That's all we really got to say about their route.
Oh, you didn't give your personal rating.
Oh, I agree. 10 out of 10.
Okay, good. Peak.
It's a 10 out of 10 route.
Okay, good.
They continued on from where it was. They built up their relationship more, gave little hints how it could have broken down, but they managed to build it back up again, and then we skip ahead. They gave it a fucking epilogue too.
Yep.
Which is great. I love that.
But now it's your turn, and I think I know who you're gonna pick. Or you might be saving best for last, I don't know.
Oh, I'm saving best for last. Next up is Amane.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, we're doing Amane first.
Okay. You want to give the rundown on her past?
All right, the long and short of Amane's route. Starting from the common route, she's very clingy. Very, very clingy to Yuji. Really kind of just always trying to rub up against him, saying really teasing sexual remarks to him. Just in a lot of the other characters' words, she's just being a total slut toward him. And him only. You think it's a little weird, but he's just like, whatever. I'm kind of into it. I like girls with big tits.
Oh, that's fair, Nick.
I'd assume we'd do her last, because part of her backstory would be involved to Yuji. I'm just saving.
We know why Barrett's saving him for last.
You know who I'm saving for last.
Go ahead.
Eventually, the two of them do, in fact, get together. They get together and, they fuck like rabbits, but are actually, like, they got a fairly healthy relationship going on.
Yeah.
She will wait up late into the night for him to come back from whatever job Ichigai has got for him, with, like, no complaints. She knows he's doing something. He doesn't want to say what he's doing because he technically can't, and she doesn't push him on that. Eventually, he hears about some nickname she got, and that's when she kind of sort of spills the beans through journals and diaries she wrote. She used to go to the same school and was kind of sort of friends with his sister, who died in a bus crash, which Amane was part of and was the only survivor of. A large chunk of her routed fruit was just involving the 2 weeks or so her and the rest of the students were stuck in basically a crevice next to the destroyed bus with almost no way out.
Which, by the way, guys, I would honestly suggest, if anyone here has not read Fruit, I'd suggest reading Fruit just to go through that backstory, because that backstory is one of the most well-written backstories, traumatic, emotional, just... 90% of the route is dedicated just to that backstory, so they put a lot of work into it. I'm just telling you guys.
So because she got out of that alive, the only one that got out of that alive, she has a lot of survivor's guilt, and it's why she's very, very clingy to Yuji. Because I was friends with your sister, I feel like I let your sister down by essentially abandoning her. So I feel like I owe you a lot, and I hate myself for being the only one that lives. So Yuji kind of tries to break her out of that.
Yep.
He tries to do things to make her take her mind off of this guilt and self-hate she has with herself because of it. To the point of basically punishing her. He's basically treating her like a child and punishing her whenever she is self-deprecating in any kind of way.
This is like the route of, if you got a lot of fetishes, you'll probably be happy with this route.
They eventually go back to the bus crash site that kind of became a pseudo-memorial, because she feels like, because of something Kazuki had said all the way back then, there might be some chance she managed to survive. So they're trying to look for some random cache of supplies she may have left behind. And if they happen to find it, or not find where something used to be, it could be proof she maybe lived and is just God knows where after all these years.
Yep.
It's then they're confronted by the father of one of the other students that dies that also holds Amane responsible for his daughter dying. The two of them manage to survive that encounter, get the man arrested. I feel like that dude is going to be thrown into a hole he can never get out of because he tried to kill, a member of Ichigaya.
Yeah, that guy is never seeing the light of day again. Ever.
That man ain't gonna see anything again.
That guy was insane. Just a quick side note, like, reading through that route, like, both the good end and the bad end, that guy's just... he was off his rocker.
After that, it kind of goes into a multi-step epilogue, showing how they stayed together after that point. They got married. They had a kid. Yuji eventually dies, I think, of just old age. And then
Cancer.
Does he have cancer? Did he get cancer?
Yeah, he got liver cancer, lung cancer, something like that.
Oh.
I remember.
Okay.
Which you could kind of tie in with old age, but I do remember they say he died of a cancer.
At the very least, he died before Amane, and has been dead for a fair bit of time. She's just out one day with her daughter and granddaughter, just kind of, being the normal grandma thing, sitting, chatting, thinking about the old times, and eventually just dies sitting on the bench next to her granddaughter, just finally fully content with life. Having lived a full, complete, happy life after thinking she didn't deserve it.
Yep. And then...
That also hurt.
There was a CG that they cut out of the Steam version. I think they cut it out of the Steam version. I remember when I read that the Steam version wasn't in there. That pissed me off so much. Because after she dies, you can see her younger version going up into heaven and reaching out to Yuji.
Aww.
And it talks about them going back together. If you've not seen that CG, look it up. It's amazing.
I would have to look back in my VOD to see if it showed up or not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they cut that out of the Steam version, and it's so stupid because there was no reason to do that.
So, cut ahead to her after story. Takes place about a year later from the end of her route, so, after her route, but before all the epilogues start actually beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They're just being a normal-ass, happy couple together. Amane has technically graduated from the school. She's just staying on as basically a den mother while Yuji finishes out the rest of the years.
Mm-hmm.
And also tries to find a way to get a better paying job at Ichigaya because he wants to support and eventually marry Amane.
Yeah, from what I remember, a lot of the route is just wholesome couple stuff. Like they visit the zoo and stuff. I remember that.
Yeah, they go on a nice little couples date just to the zoo while all the other girls are spying on them and watching.
There's a cute little CG of just the chibi versions of them just looking at them.
Oh, hold on, I think I have that still because I used it for a thumbnail. I used it for a thumbnail for her after story. Let's see if I can grab it quick.
Oh, Nick says they might have included it in the Steam version because he thinks he saw it on your stream.
Okay. You clip a lot, so I kind of believe you, Nick. Let's see. I should have the shit somewhere.
Let's hope your organization of your files is better than mine. I don't nickname anything.
or organization?
All right, this guy's a brother of mine. He just hopes he can find something when he needs it later.
Yeah, everything is just all over the fucking place. I'm telling you that right now. Everything is all over the place. I kind of have things sorta organized, but at the same time, they're not.
You just click through the random PNGs. You're like, God, I hope this is the one.
No, I mean, I can see what they are. It's just there's no real rhyme or reason to them right now. It's got random source images I use, the PSD files that I use to put the thumbnails together. God knows what else I download, like the fonts I use for some of these. Okay, I'll just bring up one of the thumbnails. I'll just bring up a thumbnail from her route. It'll work. They're
and just to give you guys...
They're kind of blocked a little, but...
Yeah, but... you can see him, you can see him. Oh, I love that CG so much. Oh, my God.
A sort of kind of mini conflict in here still is the fact that Amane does have still a lot of, like, confidence issues and feeling like she's not, you know, really worthy of Yuji. So when all the girls kind of tease her about, oh, we're gonna steal your man away from you kind of thing, just they're trying to be funny and cute about it, but she's kind of taking it to heart, and she has a little bit of a mini breakdown, like right in front of them.
Funny thing about this, guys, I think Baron DM'd me about this, about bringing up like a cuck fetish. And I was like, wait, what? Then I had to remember, like, they do bring that up.
Oh yeah, and after that, she does talk to him about that. What would you think if, like, you know, you bring one of the other girls in, like, I don't know why she uses fucking Machina as the example, but whatever. It's like, what would you think of that? Like, I could, like, hide in the closet, you can do your thing with Machina, I would just be there, sitting and watching, and then once you're done, that's when I would, like, come out, or whatever. Like, what the fuck? He shuts that shit down, like, instantly.
Yo, Amane versus Yumiko, I actually don't know who's a bigger freak, man. I'll be so honest.
But that was coming from, like, a self-confidence point.
Sure.
It wasn't something she really wanted to do. She was kind of influenced by everyone saying they would take Yuji away from her. And that just really got into her head.
Yep.
Also throughout the route, they are talking about how we do want to get married, but I want my father, you know, they want Amane's father's, you know, go ahead for it. And he has been doing everything in his power to not be around whenever they come around to ask. Eventually, they managed to trick him into, you know, being around when they are, and Yuji just kind of straight up asks him, do I have your blessing to marry your daughter? And his fucking reply is basically, square up, you son of a bitch!
And we get the greatest scene in all of Grisaia.
So you got this middle-aged man, just stripped down to, like, just his pants, having a fist fight with a high schooler over his daughter.
It's amazing.
It goes on for hours. The two of them are like bloody pulps by the end of it. They do come to, you know, an understanding, and he does give them their blessing. He didn't want to give it away because he didn't want to give his daughter away after nearly losing her from that bus crash. That's part of it. He didn't want to, like, lose her again.
Small aside, they bring this up because in the fruit ending, they actually, like, bring up that he had a fight with Amane's dad to marry Amane.
Oh my god.
And Yuji goes on to do the same thing for his daughter. I'm pretty sure Yuji wins again. It's a fight. It's peak writing. You can't get better than that.
And that's more or less how her route ends, is like they go back after getting the blessing and are just ready to get hitched. Just being a cute couple.
Easy 8 out of 10 route, I gotta say. Like, it's an amazing... I almost want to give her 9 out of 10. I might give her 9 out of 10. Oh, shoot. But that's the same one I gave Yumiko's. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 just for the fight, I'll be honest.
Yeah, for the fight. 9 out of 10 for the fight. 100%.
For the fight. Yeah.
Just for that fucking fight. Like... Just out of the fucking nowhere, the mom and Amane are cheering Yuji on because the mom's all for them getting married. She likes Yuji and kind of sort of maybe hints like, "Hey, maybe you want me?" Because
Yep.
everyone apparently wants the fucking Kazumi cock.
Listen, Yuji's got that Riz. He's got the Yuji Riz.
I don't know how. This man is the biggest fucking boring asshole on the face of the planet. But everyone's just like, I'm all yours. Fuck me like you've never fucked anyone before. Like,
Also,
what?
Mari wants you to fuck a cat, just to let you know.
We're gonna talk about that.
We're gonna
talk about that later. Very, very briefly. Very, very briefly. Fucking Christ. Oh.
Hey, Mari.
Enjoy your lurk, Mari. I hope you're doing well. If you guys haven't gone and checked out Mari, you really should. God damn it, Nick.
You bigot. But yeah, just amazing route, 9 out of 10. Like, there's really nothing to complain. This is what we mean. Like, almost every route is like a 9 out of 10, aside from Makina's route, basically.
And you'll get that 10 out of 10 over on Mari's stream as well, because she always brings the great times every time. She knows what she's about. She comes in with these messages telling me to fornicate with a certain thing. But, yeah, and this time I'm the cat because, well, I am Maui's Meowster. I'm a little disco kitten.
That's crazy!
So go check her out, guys, if you haven't.
Oh my god, we love you, Mari, we love you.
Oh, I absolutely adore Mari. She's fucking awesome.
Oh my god. But yeah, I guess we've only got one route left, huh?
You're welcome, Mari. What do you mean make it quick? Boo on
That's
you.
crazy. Shame on you.
Alright, the one I've been leaving for last. My best girl.
Oh, that's for Mari. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, my best girl. Michiru.
Michiru is great. I feel like I have to let you do the summary for her route. I feel like that's your girl.
It is my girl. Michiru is a tsundere, but she's very bad at it. She is a pseudo tsundere. She will practice to herself every morning, saying specific phrases, trying to embody tsundere itself. She's very bad at it. She's very bad at a lot of things. Most things. There's like nothing this girl excels at all. But she like catches Yuji's attention regardless, especially when she kind of gets into this sort of kind of look where it's like, that's not Michiru. She's speaking a little different. She's moving a little different. He picks up on that pretty quickly. That sometimes Michiru ain't Michiru. Very simply, she has DID, or otherwise known as a dissociative identity disorder. That came about thanks to her wonderful, wonderful backstory of being a child from a fairly well-off family that tried to make their daughter, try to excel at everything because they wanted the best for her, but she was bad at it to the point her own tutors were basically abusing her and getting away with it because they just scared her into not saying a word about what was happening. She just kind of was more or less isolated until she met some random girl on the top of the school, she was at, when she was kind of thinking of throwing herself off the building. Both of them were. And then they become friends. So Michiru kind of, gets a little happy again, gets the good things going on. And then that girl goes up on the roof again quite a while later after some undisclosed things happen to her, and she throws herself off for real this time. Michiru then essentially more or less has kind of like a mini heart attack because she's got a little bit of a weak heart. And that kind of broke it fully. So she gets like an emergency heart transplant. That, okay, saves her life. She can go about living again, la-di-da-di-da, until she starts hearing a voice in her head. The voice of the girl who the heart came from. That managed to bring it. She managed to bring herself over somehow and is now living within Michiru. This drives Michiru so crazy she tries to rip her own heart out and gets put into the psych ward for a while. It's there she eventually decides, you know what, I want to make other people happy and not be this Debbie Downer kind of person, so I'm just gonna be an idiot. I'm gonna pretend...
She puts the clown shoes on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be a complete and utter fool from now on. I'll just make a bunch of screw-ups just to make people laugh, make them happy, and I'm sure that'll make me happy too, which it does for a while. It gets her out of the hospital, finally.
Mm-hmm.
And then she meets Yuji, who's just Yuji. He just does his Yuji thing. They're left alone during spring break because neither of them are going anywhere on it. So they grow a little closer, go on fake dates. They pretend to be dating until eventually they just say, okay, we're actually dating. With a little bit of help from the other personality, who's kind of pushing her to it because she thinks it'd be good for her. The other personality comes out a few more times here and there. They like always come out whenever Michiru is under a lot of stress to kind of protect her from whatever thing is stressing her out. Michiru's aware these happen, but never knows what happens during those moments. That scares the shit out of her. All she knows is something bad is about to happen to her. She completely blacks out. When she comes back to it, everything's fine again. Eventually her pet cat is run over by a car. That breaks her so much, she takes her medication. I don't know what kind of medication she even take again.
I think it's supposed to be an antidepressant, but like you can actually see her chewing it throughout the story. But like
it's just considered Ramune candy. They think it's just a pouch full of candy when really it's meds. She takes a crap ton of those and essentially ODs, or tries to OD. She manages to live thanks to Yuji, and then that's when he kind of tries to get her to come to terms with this second personality. But Michiru came to a conclusion of her own, which was, I'm gonna let the other one take over and live their life because they're a lot better at living my life than I am, and I'm just a waste of space, no one wants me, bye.
God.
He has to coax her out of it by setting up her death and burying her alive to give her that drive to actually live. He makes it seem like she's buried, like completely dead, buried underground, and just being underground alone in that coffin talking to her other self, she realizes, no, actually, I do want to live. Get me the hell out of here. She was only buried like maybe a few inches under the ground, so she got out pretty easily. But Yuji was waiting there for her.
Yep.
She has an actual heart-to-heart conversation with her other self, and they come to terms with each other. Even kind of get a little bit of the other one's backstory, how she was a girl that was just living her life normally until, I think Truck-kun came around.
I think so. Yeah, it's isekai again.
Yeah, Truck-kun came around, paid her a visit over in America. And she was left first in a coma for a while, then eventually her parents just kind of signed off for her organs to be donated, with her heart ending up in Michiru. So Michiru's sort of kind of issues she has with her other personality are solved, but they also want to do something for the other self. They want to give her a little bit of closure, so surprisingly enough, Yuji, through Ichigaya, manages to track down her mom in the States, flies the two of them to the States, just so the other one can have a conversation with her mom without saying, like, hi, I'm actually your daughter in another girl's body. That also broke me. That conversation broke me, especially when she was basically saying, bye, Mom, to herself in her head.
And then they find the drawing.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a good little scene. Like, that whole thing was great. Even this time, Michiru coming out to salvage the conversation when the other one was ready to just kind of like get up and leave and just give up entirely with it because she just couldn't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to give the other one. They wanted to give her closure as well. Like, she's part of Michiru. They want to do something for her. And then it ends on a joke. They're still together, but then the other Michiru basically jokes, "So, we're both dating Yuji, right?"
Michiru's like, "No."
And their agreement also was like every few days they will swap who's in charge so the other one can, kind of sort of live out their life too and not just be sitting in the background the whole time. They come to a good thing there. But just what a joke. It's like, he's our boyfriend. He's both our boyfriends, right? It's like, no, he's dating me, not you.
Really, the real winner is Yuji. He gets 2 for the price of 1, huh?
Oh my god.
But yeah, just her whole route in Fruit is like one of the best written routes in visual novels ever. Like, it's like, even if Michiru's not my best girl, that is probably one of my more favorite routes. Just because of everything that happens. It's just an emotional roller coaster. Good God.
Her after story picks up from there.
Yeah.
After they came back. Michiru is still being Michiru. She is showing up and waiting outside for dates, like almost a day before they're supposed to happen. And
this is where we get to see... sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
This is where we get to see black hair Michiru. I was just excited to say that.
Yeah, this route kind of more or less is kicked off by the fact she wants to have a winter date with Yuji, even though it's the middle of the summer, because summer sucks for dates, apparently. But winter is like the perfect season for it. So how you have a winter date in the middle of summer, she tries to figure that shit out. She also dyes her hair black instead of blonde.
No.
Because blonde, after talking with Machina, of all people, fucking says blonde is a summer color. You need something darker like black, because that's a winter color.
I could have swore that black is her natural hair color, and like the blonde was...
I think it is because she does dye her hair that blonde. He does call does call her a bottle blonde for that reason.
Yeah. So I just love that in Labyrinth we got to see her natural hair color.
I'm still a little on the fence about it, but I do like it.
Yeah.
I'm just used to seeing her in the blonde. It's just what I think of immediately when I think Michiru.
Yeah. But anyways, go ahead.
So they go on this weird winter-summer date thing as best they can. And Yuji's just kind of being really dismissive of it for the most part. Because he's like, this is stupid. You're stupid. Kind of thing.
You're stupid.
Like, wanting to have a snowball fight. But her solution was, here's some ice. That I kept in a cooler. Let's throw ice at each other.
I feel like you have to bring up the photo booth scene where they're like siding the food. I don't remember when that happens, but that's what like part of my favorites.
So they just try to do cute couple shit. Her plans are kind of falling through big time. Like, big time. Eventually, they do go to like a indoor thing to do what he said. Go to a photo booth that prints out on stickers. And they kind of sort of were having an alright time, but then Yuji's also being like a major stick in the mud at the same time about it. It's like, okay, we took the picture, it looks kind of cute. Alright, now we gotta like write things on it. And he's writing nonsensical shit.
National defense!
They're wasting so much time. She tries so hard to make it work and is like kind of disappointed with what it is. That's when Yuji kind of gains a heart and is like, all right, let's do it again. And actually gives proper pictures. But also gets her worked up, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
And Yuji's just like, okay, want to do it now? Right here? For fuck's sake.
Freaky, oh.
A public photo booth, they do the nasty. There's a line of people waiting.
Good God.
Oh.
I just love that scene because I love the national defense so much. I made it just soundboard on my of just me saying national defense.
They go back to the school after the date. Michiru's still feeling a little down about it. Her other self pops out. They talk for a bit, and the other Michiru's like, why don't you let me kind of figure the date part out? Just listen to what I say, go along with it, and I think you'll have a better time.
Mm-hmm.
And Michiru's for it, but is also, you know, being Michiru, is like, okay, I will go to sleep for our date tomorrow. Okay, it's midnight. I slept a grand total of 2 minutes. Let's get ready for this date. Because of course. So they go and have a normal-ass date. With a little bit of pushes from the other Michiru to get her in the right direction. And it goes fairly well. I mean, Michiru still wants her winter date. Not really getting it that much, but they're trying. Yuji's also trying to be a little more, you know, accommodating to it. Even going out of his way to go to a little trinket shop and buy her a little gift. A snow globe. To really just kind of get into the spirit of it all.
I remember that. Oh.
They just have a fairly decent time until after standing outside a hotel because it was starting to get late. It's like, we should probably get back. It's like, why don't we just stay in a hotel? If the only options initially were like just a love hotel, and she was kind of gonna go for it until she got a bucket of water dropped on her head from a window washer. So they put him up in a regular hotel as a sorry, just so she could dry off and spend the night not walking home in wet clothes. That's when they kind of sort of do the nasty a little bit. But then also Michiru switches other Michiru in because she doesn't want her to feel left out. Because the entire time also, Yuji only ever refers to the other Michiru as you. Doesn't, like, use any name for her, and she feels sad about it subconsciously, like, I don't get to be a person. I want to be able to experience this stuff again, but I know I can't, and they won't do that either. They don't want to put that on me. But they also, like, you kind of helped us out here. You're part of the reason we're together in a way, so you deserve to, you know, experience some of the fun times too. So, yeah, other Michiru is now in control of Michiru's body for the night, and Yuji does the nasty with her.
Yep.
And then probably one of the most hardest, like, one of the scenes that was making me tear up a bit too after that. They go back to the cliff that they always go to that's over the ocean, looking it over. Michiru kind of has almost like a little bit of a realization that they might not be together, like, beyond, you know, them being in school. She's just kind of like, I can accept if we don't stay together at all. It's okay. I'm okay with that. Just don't forget about me. Remember all, like, the good times we had together. I know I'm not perfect. I probably won't be perfect, but just remember the good times we had. Just being really sappy about it. That shit kind of broke me. It's like they're dating, they're trying to have great times together, but she's realizing this might not be a long-term thing. It might only be for maybe a year at most. You never know.
Right.
Which is really, honestly, that hurts.
It does.
She's so fucking conscious of that. But then Yuji, being the fucking absolute giga chat he can be at times, sets it up so in the middle of fucking summer, it's snowing for her.
I forgot about that.
Well, first they used that snow globe she had because she keeps carrying it around with her, because she loves it a lot, to hold it up in front of their phone camera while they stand on the other side of it, so when they take the picture, it looks like they're standing, you know, in a winter scene. Which, that's honestly really sweet.
Yeah.
But then this fucking mad lad manages to make it snow in the middle of summer for her, and she's just like, you know, in awe. The route technically ends, like the credits and stuff roll, but then it cuts back. She asks, what the hell even is this stuff? This isn't snow. It's chaff. He had a buddy who owned a plane fly overhead and drop a bunch of small metal particles around them that, when hit in the light and all that stuff, looks like snow.
It's just, I love it because it's such a Yuji thing. He comes up with these ridiculous situations, and they always come out to the most heartfelt thing, but then you think about them for 5 seconds, you're like, wait, you did what? God, that's why I love him so much. There's so much discourse around Yuji, but you will never get me to fully hate him, man.
I'm still so on the fence with this asshole, because again, he's a misogynistic asshole, but he does shit like that. He does some actual legitimately good, sweet, wholesome things.
Yeah, he's just, oh man, he's just a fun character. I can't ever hate him for that. Oh my god.
Yes, so Michiru's route, I would put it at just probably about an 8, to be perfectly honest.
Really?
Yeah, it was mostly just cute date, more Michiru being a dumbass shenanigans, for the most part. Which, we get that in, like, literally, every route.
Yeah.
She is just the butt of the joke in every single route.
I think I will agree with your 8, just because it didn't have such a strong impact on me as the other routes did, but it does still deserve an 8 because it's such an amazing route. It does still have some great continuation. It just isn't as strong as the other ones, but it's Grisaia, so it's amazing.
Just continuing with the DID, she's accepted that. The other one becomes a bit more of a character, gets a little bit more insight into them as well, which is nice. And just the actual, you know, self-awareness Michiru has about whether or not this is a relationship that could last.
Yep.
Like, that's a huge thing. She's aware. Super self-aware about it. She can be ditzy and, you know, forget about things, but she does still think about a lot of stuff.
It's such a hard-hitting scene, too, because it's real. Because, like, there's a bunch of these relationships that start out in high school that look like they're going to last forever, that feel so good, that just don't end up lasting. Now, in my personal headcanon, they do still last together all the way to the end, but, like, I just love that they bring it up because it's real. It's stuff that happens
I
in
would
real
want them to last together because I want to see Michiru actually happy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Yuji can do that.
If anyone could, it's Yuji. If anyone could. that motherfucker will go through hell and high water to ensure his girl is good.
Yeah, damn straight he will.
Oh my god. Well, I guess it's time to move on to the main appetizer.
Yep. Our main route. That for everybody else takes place in like basically a separate like I guess you could say like universe more or less.
Yeah.
Where Yuji managed to help all the girls like he did in their individual routes, but he never got together with any of them. So the relationship and sexual aspect and stuff didn't really happen, but he still helped them out.
Yeah. And this game is mainly focused around... This is the main selling point of the game, is just going through his backstory, because we had snippets of it through all the routes in the original Fruit, but we never had an in-depth dive like we do in this game.
this is a route specifically about Yuji and his past. It is all framed around him doing an interview to get a promotion at Ichigaya. It just requires him to just literally recount his entire history. With all the girls back at the school managing to get their hands on a draft of the report he had already written up for this interview, piecing it together and reading along kind of at the same time, learning more about him that they didn't know before.
And we will warn you guys, Yuji's past is dark. Grisaia already has dark backstories, but Yuji's past takes the fucking cake.
So, y'all remember his sister, right? Kazuki?
Yep.
You notice the little Kazuki there?
There she is.
She was the only positive influence in his life early on. His older sister by not that much. The genius sister who was bringing money into the family more than, their father was. The one who could do no wrong and could do anything she put her mind to. Was the only positive influence on his life because his own father saw him as a waste of space. Wouldn't even let him read a fucking book.
God, I fucking hate Yuji's dad so much. Just thinking about it burns my ass. Oh my god.
His route is very long, so we're gonna, just kind of hone in on the key points.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best. Just bear with us.
So everything just kind of moves along in his life, him just being, influenced by Kazuki to, try things out, read things. Here, I just finished this book, you try reading it now. Which is a habit he picks up and continues on with Yumiko throughout all the Fruit and Labyrinth. Whenever Yumiko's done with the book, she passes it off to Yuji, and then he reads it. So that's where that actually came from, which is cool.
It just shows where a lot of his habits come from. It's just great writing.
History eventually catches up to what happened in was alluded to not alluded to, actually was explained in Amane's route. She is in that bus crash, and she is then, dead. She is gone. The only positive influence on his life is completely gone. His family is no longer getting money in. Their dad is going absolutely crazy because they're, slowly losing everything.
Yep. And then his dad starts taking out on him and his mom.
Him and his mom eventually run away from their dad. The first time they do, they get caught fairly quickly after and are more or less forced back to their home. Where the abuse continues, but then they get away a second time, and I think they manage to last out for about a year before he finds them again.
Oh, God.
And in, a deranged, drunken state, he says, we're gonna make a new golden child. Here, boy, take this money and go get me some booze. In a fit of rage after coming back and seeing what his mother's state is in after the fact, he takes the bottle of booze he got and cracks his dad over the back of the head with it, killing him instantly.
Yep.
His mom then sends him away and saying she'll take care of everything here. And that was just her hanging herself.
God.
So Yuji gets orphaned right then and there. He now has absolutely no family.
And by the way, during that backstory, I think it was when his father was doing shady dealings with somebody, they meet someone named Heath Oslo. You want to go into more about him?
So Yuji is now an orphan, but somebody does take him in. The aforementioned Heath Oslo. He seems to be doing this kind of out of the, goodness of his heart kind of thing. Just takes him into his home, gives him clothes, meals, a room, all of that fun stuff. Everything seems fine. Except for the times when he gets Yuji to sit on his lap and cross-dress as a little girl.
When I saw that for the first time, I was like, what the fuck? Listen, Grisaia already gets that reaction out of me every other cutscene. But I saw that and I'm like, yep, Yuji's backstory is so much worse than I would have imagined.
He's also kinda sorta sold out and rented to guests of Heath's at times as well.
Yep.
Eventually, Yuji snaps and attacks one of the people doing that, and all Heath can kind of do is laugh about it. He likes it. He likes that he did that. So he trains him to be a terrorist.
Literally sends him to a terrorist academy! As goofy as it sounds!
Where all these other orphan children are thrown in there to learn how to fight and do all these other things, with their final graduation being, hey, you know that person you've been working with the entire time? You have to fight them and kill them. Right now. Right this second. Beat the shit out of them till they stop breathing. Yuji sorta kinda flunks out of it, but because he's like a direct ward of Heath, he still kinda sorta passes and becomes a cross-dressing assassin.
Yep.
Who is sold out to rich politicians and businessmen for illicit activities, which he then uses as the opportunity to end them. And then he walks away. Because no one's gonna expect this, you know, tiny little Asian girl.
Mm-hmm. It's just, like, just thinking back on it and just remembering the scenes, the lines, the dialogue, the CGs, it's just... You understand why Yuji grew up to be the person he is. Like, the cold, calculating, logical person. Like, it all comes together.
He is not a child anymore. He's not grown up at all. He is just a thing. He is a weapon. He is just something Heath will point at someone and basically say, kill.
Yep.
Because now it's become all he knows. He's nothing. I mean, already he saw himself as nothing thanks to all the shit his dad was saying.
Mm-hmm. Until
what Heath's main little base he was using at the time gets raided by Ichigaya. They don't catch Heath, but down in the basement, strapped up in I think probably a chair or something, is this super malnourished and heavily injured girl, from what they can see. But really, it's Yuji. So Ichigaya kind of takes him in. I think first is kind of someone to save, but then learns a little more about what he was doing. The people that got to him, though, at the time were good old JB. We all know and, love.
Yep.
And her operative, who she's the handler of, Asako Kusakabe.
Peak character. Love her to death.
Really unsure of what to do with this small child, Asako kind of says, I'll raise him.
Yep.
It took a lot from JB to get it to work out, but officially Asako becomes Yuji's new guardian from then on. They bring his health back up so he's not malnourished anymore, and then Asako is just kind of like seeing what kind of sort of makes him tick. What do I need to do to make this thing back into a person?
Mm-hmm.
And she, in her own way, she manages to do it. She's very,
heavy-handed.
Yeah.
The way to put it.
Like, there is a little bit of sweetness and tenderness behind that, but she's very, very vocal and very rough about how she wants things done.
Yeah. Does get him a dog, though. Gotta give that to her.
Yeah, it does work, though. He slowly starts to emote a little more. He comes around. He learns things again. Eventually taking a bit of interest in what Asako does.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually learning how to shoot and all of that. Running, his massive fucking obstacle courses and crap. Just the kind of stuff he was putting Machina through back in her routes.
Yep.
And that's just kind of their happy little life. Asako essentially is his parent. JB coming around every now and again because she's got to keep an eye on Asako. And being like a second parent to Yuji. Doing their absolute best. JB tries to balance out Asako's, fucking insanity in raising a child to the best of her ability.
Just trying to stop Osco from feeding him deer dick like she tried to a couple times.
Oh my god.
I remember that vividly.
Yep.
Oh, that's deer dick. God.
A little bit later, while they're still living together, Asako has been kind of been more tired and staying in bed longer and longer for odd reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Even kind of missing calls from Ichigaya for jobs she has to do. Yuji takes one of these calls just because he sort of knows what's going on. And when they say they've got to be somewhere at a specific time or whatnot, he's just like, okay.
Yep.
He fills in for Asako on her official jobs. JB finds out a little bit later that this has been happening because everyone at these job sites just like, I'm told someone's going to be here at this location and to pick them up, and someone is there at this location, so I picked them up. I assume they were the right person. So that's when they go with, alright, I'll train you to be like my understudy, my sub. Because Asako's health is starting to take a bit of a downswing. She's losing feeling in some limbs. She's losing vision in her eyes. It ain't going too good.
Yeah.
Because he can't really be doing this kind of temp stuff forever as he is, they do what he did with Machina back in her route. They send him off to get trained officially so he can take over Asco's number in official capacity, and Asco can retire entirely.
And this is where he starts meeting his military friends.
I don't have any of their PNGs, but he meets a whole bunch of the nice kooky characters at the fucking Marine base.
Danny! Oh my god. I love Danny. Daniel Bone. Golden remembers the phone.
Dude, yeah, good old Daniel Bone. He's in here to get the money so he can send it back to his family.
Yeah. Oh, I love that guy. Remember his car. I do.
He meets there's also a girl named Millie who is very much just a slut and wants to jump Yuji's bones every chance she gets.
And then we get Robbie. Can't forget about Robbie.
Oh my god, fucking otaku. This man gives weebs a bad name, and we already have a bad name.
Oh my god.
The man will play fucking hentai visual novels about banging your little sister out loud with no speakers and excitedly respond to every fucking goddamn sentence.
Listen, at least he's got confidence. The wrong type of confidence, but at least he's got it.
And then this whole nice little motley crew they've got is all led by one woman who hates Yuji mostly for the sole reason of, you're Asako's kid. I hate Asako. So I hate you.
By the way, that woman, though, peak.
So she's just drill sergeant nasty for him, more so than anyone else under her command, because she hates Asako. Yuji manages to get through this, even going through some actual real live combat situations and dealing with the PTSD he has from killing people back when he was a cross-dressing assassin for Heath. And thanks to also Asako's influence, he can't really actually kill anybody. He tries to kill someone, he gets violently ill. Just throws up on the spot. Not a great assassin if he can't actually kill anyone anymore.
Yeah, not so efficient.
A little bit later, when he gets back to the good old cabin after hearing Asako's health really has turned for even worse, he gets back there with her just lying in the bed, barely conscious, but manages to drum up enough energy just more or less to say her goodbyes to Yuji, just to kind of keep on.
Yeah.
It breaks him that he has to bury his mentor and new parent, and then he lives with JB for a bit, as they're both coping, because she was also a friend to JB.
It's so hard to read through that, man, because it's like, the second you meet Osco, you're like, okay, she's going to die because we know, because we have the knowledge of fruit and, like, current. But, like, just still going through it just still hurt. It hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Ugh. God.
Cut ahead a little bit further than that. Oh, actually, sorry, this is before then. Sorry. This happened before Asako died. I forgot the order of how these things went.
You're good.
A little bit before Asako died, there was a hostage situation in good old Vancouver, in Canada, at an airport, and they needed a sniper that could hit a target from a very far distance away. There were only a few snipers in the world that could do it, one of them being Asako, but because she couldn't do it, the next choice was Yuji.
Yep.
So Yuji gets pulled all the way to Canada, reacquainting himself with everyone from his old squad in the Marines that he was part of, because they're all part of this operation. And they save the hostage. Who was that
turns out
hostage?
to be Chizu.
Yeah, good old Chizuru was the hostage on that plane.
That's not Chizuru, that's Chizu. Thank you very much.
So this was how Yuji kind of met Chizuru. Because he saved her life, and then him and Daniel watched her flounder in the water because she couldn't swim for a bit. And they were laughing at it, even poking her with a stick.
I love Daniel. Oh my god. Oh, that guy.
So, because of him saving her from that, she, owes, in her mind, she owes Yuji a debt. She would do something to pay him back for literally saving her life. Which, after all the stuff involving, Asako dying, and him having almost like a little bit of a falling out with JB, just a tiny bit. They still work in a professional capacity, but they don't live together anymore.
Right.
They contact Chizuru, and she sets it up so he can go to the school to experience a real life, and then that's where Fruit picks up.
Yep. Which is just going through. There is still a little bit more, guys, but just going through all of Yuji's backstory, saying everything he's been through, it gives you this vision of because throughout all of Fruit, we don't really know a whole lot about Yuji's backstory besides from Makina's route. We just know it was hard and that he had a master throughout his life, but just seeing every step of it put out in painful, excruciating detail just makes you really feel for Yuji. And even if you don't like him for his current attitude, for how misogynistic he can be, it gives you a little understanding about him. And I love that moral complexity where even if a character's not perfect, you can understand and still grow to like them.
Well, Thanks for the bits, Jake. Thank you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so after that, and it picks up where Fruit was supposed to start. That's where basically this interview he's having with JB comes to an end, because they're not going to recount all the events that happened in Fruit again.
Yeah.
So he just kind of goes back to the school and just kind of goes to want to do his normal thing. He then receives a call that he's needed for a specific job, and he kind of doesn't get a choice about it, because it's not coming from JB, it's coming from someone else who's like, alright, fine, we'll do the job, whatever. He gets driven out. It's supposed to be for an assassination of somebody. They gave him all the tools he needed. He's told who this target supposedly is. He's all set up. The plane lands. The guy steps out. And who steps out of that fucking plane?
Who none other than the man himself, Heath Oslo.
This, triggers Yuji so much, he can't take the shot and just goes mad screaming. Because he failed to do his mission, refused to do his mission, he is then presumably taken into custody. Because he's refusing a job from his higher-ups. And then that is where it ends.
Such a cliffhanger, dude. I don't know if I sent you my reaction, Baron.
You did.
But I just went, that's it?
Yeah.
God.
That is where the main story of Grisaia ended right there. Yuji being taken into custody after failing to assassinate Heath.
God. And it just... I can't say so much because, a lot of it will lead into Eden, but I can't wait for you to get to Eden. But to talk about Yuji's route, what were your thoughts? How did you feel about it?
My god, this man's life has been just one shit thing happening after another. Jesus. Yep. How can one man have such a bad time in life?
What really gets me is how he's gone through so much, and yet he's a bit of a shit stain, but he's still a decent person at heart. He'll still fight for the right cause.
You can attribute to that almost solely to Asako.
Yep.
She took whatever the hell was left of Yuji and managed to put it back together somewhat. Made him an actual person again, who had feelings and could emote and function normally. He took after her a lot, probably for bad things. It's where his misogyny came from, but
yeah.
He's a person. You can look and it's oh yeah, it's just a guy now. Not whatever the hell they pulled out of that basement.
He's not a living weapon. He's not just an empty husk walking around. He is Kazami Yuji. Tutor of Asako.
He's the apprentice of Asako.
And just because of all that, just the excruciating detail, everything he went through, even the fact that they went through all of his life in the military, I can't give this thing anything less than a 10. I'm sorry, I can't. It was just written too well.
Honestly, yeah. They give as much detail as they need to make you uncomfortable, but not just for the sake of making you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They really make you see what he went through. When you first introduced to him, it's in Fruit in the beginning where he's kind of being an ass to a cop. He's okay, this guy's just an asshole. But then you come to this, go through that route, you see all the shit he fucking had to go through. It's and he ended up like that in the end of this? How? Holy fuck.
It gives you so much perspective.
It's okay, yeah, he's an asshole, but he could have turned out so much worse.
He could have... The most interesting thing about Yuji's character is if just one thing went wrong, or if maybe Asako had never found him, he might either be dead were probably one of the most evil people in the series. But just that one meeting turned him into what he is.
He could have been a Heath Oslo 2.0 instead of an Asako 2.0.
Yep.
That's a scary thought.
It really is. Because, like...
Heath is an internationally wanted terrorist.
Yeah.
The route starts off with them trying to apprehend him on a boat, but he is already long gone by the time they get to that boat.
They even mention Heath Oslo might not even be his real name. That's how much of a big-time criminal he is.
He has a lot of pseudonyms.
Yep. And just... Oh yeah, Golden brings up the bear and the dog. That's a tragic side. We won't go over everything, just in case you guys want to read through it yourself, which, by the way, I would heavily suggest you do.
Do it. Please.
Amazing.
Please do, guys. It's fucking fantastic.
But it's just... like, overall, if I was to give the whole game a rating, I'd probably go like a 9 out of 10 if I did the whole thing overall, because most of the routes are just amazing. I mean, you heard us, average 9 out of 10 for like 90% of them.
Yeah, this game's a fucking masterpiece and a half.
If you play Fruit, you have to play this. Just dead ass.
Absolutely.
And just like every character you meet, even just the side characters, they're just so funny and like emotional. The scenes are great. The CG's amazingly drawn. The music, the OST, you can hear one of the basic ones being played right now. It just brings out so much nostalgia in me, and I can't dare put any of the Grisaia games below a 9 out of 10. So this one, I will go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. A 9 out of 10 game all around. Like, no question.
Yep. Just, God, I cannot wait for you to read Eden. I cannot wait.
I will be getting to Eden relatively soon.
Yeah, no rush. It's just like, I just feel that like pep in my step thinking about it. Because like I don't get to talk to a lot of people about these games. A lot of people that are as passionate as you, Baron, especially. So just being able to have these like one-on-one talks about the game, about the characters, about the like scenes, about the emotions they convey, the messages that are sent. It's always so fun, and I'm so glad that you brought me on to help talk to you about this, so we can just discuss these games and why they're amazing.
Yes, thanks to these games that we know each other in the first place.
Exactly. And like y'all know, we consider each other brothers at this point. We are that close.
This man is my brother. Yeah, absolutely.
And just for that, Grisaia as a series is a 10 out of 10. Just for me, Baron. Oh my god. God. Oh.
Okay, this will make very quick. Labyrinth also has little goof, short side stories that go along with it. This is like stuff that's like stupid little what-ifs, or maybe little comedic scenes they couldn't fit into any of the routes without it really breaking up the pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any that you recall that stand out? Besides the infamous one.
There's so many that, like, it's hard to recall one, but I know one about Sachi getting trolled by a shark or something.
Oh yeah, she thinking she has this connection with a beached whale shark, and it just keeps trying to swallow her.
Oh. I love that one. That one's my favorite. I remember it. Oh my god. There's so many though that it's hard to recall them all. Is there one that you have in your mind?
There's one I have in my mind that I don't want to have in my mind. And that involves fucking Meowmo.
Oh, yeah.
Long and short of it, guys. Michiru's like making a magic potion or some bullshit. Tells Yuji not to touch it till she gets the last ingredient for it. Meowmo licks a little bit of it and fucking collapses. Yumiko then walks in and for whatever reason takes a little bit of a lick of it on her finger and also collapses. When they come to, Meowmo and Yumiko have swapped bodies. The cat in her body proceeds to say, I always thought once I become a human there's something I wanted to do. I want to mate. And then proceeds to force themselves onto multiple people. Goes to Sachi, who actually initially agrees, and apparently gives her the fucking time of her life, that she's so weak-kneed she can barely stand. Outside the courtyard. Then goes to Machina, in the middle of the hallway, rips her clothes off and gives her the time of her life.
Yep.
Gets into Chizuru's office and fucking mind breaks her, apparently, from how good it was.
I can't, man.
Tries to go after fucking Amane, but she, like, pushes her off. And then it ends with Yuji doing something to Sakaki Cat, that makes them just, like, fucking dreary-eyed and weak that he can just carry them back. All while Yumiko in the cat body is horrified by what's happening.
Not the submit sound. I can't.
They do switch bodies back. Meowmo is now really, really, really attached to Yuji, so whatever the fuck he did has made this cat horny for him. Because of fucking course. Michiru could just come back with the final ingredient, and I think it was literally, like, for something really stupid.
Yeah.
I can't remember 100% what it was for. I feel like it was probably for some kind of skincare routine or to make her hair shine. I don't know.
It's something like that.
It was something really stupid and mundane, but apparently if you leave one specific ingredient out, you get Freaky Friday.
The only other one I can remember besides that, it was a game of telephone that just went so insane that I can't remember.
I don't remember the telephone one.
I think that could have just been a figment of my imagination. Who knows? It's been so long.
Oh god, now I just remembered another one, and it involves fucking Machina.
Oh no.
Her and Michiru and Sachi going on a fucking mission to confirm whether or not Sakaki wears a thong.
Oh my... I don't think even I remember that one, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, they get into her room when she is sleeping, they pull down her fucking pants just to check if she has a thong, and I guess Machina was gonna use that to, like, blackmail her or something? I don't know. It's Machina.
It's Machina logic. Nothing she does ever makes sense. Good God. But if you guys want to see, like, the rest of the side stories, like we said, make sure you check out the Labyrinth, because there's a lot of them in there, and they're great. You will love them.
Most of them are absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, that's it. That covers everything.
God. I guess we'll get your closing remarks on the novel and just your overall thoughts about it.
I want more.
He's like, I'm ready.
I want more, but I'm gonna wait. I want to go through something else first before I get through to the expansions and Eden.
Yeah, you gotta have a little bit of patience. You gotta have a little patience.
I gotta take a little break. I took a little break after Fruit, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh my God. My closing remarks is, I can't wait. Can't wait. But besides that, Baron, thank you so much for having me. This is, we had so much fun on the last one talking about Fruit, and again, I had so much fun talking about Labyrinth. It's fun talking to you. It's even funner talking about stuff that we love, and just thank you for inviting me out.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. I was 100% not gonna even move on to the next games until we were able to do this.
Yes. Yes. The funny thing, we actually came up with this a while back. I was like, Baron, we should do a thing where like we talk about the games after you finish them. And Baron was on board. He was like, yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
We've agreed on pretty much everything about this too, other than who best girl is.
That's the only thing we ever disagree on. And that's just because of who we are as men. Like you can't change who a man is.
I like my tsunderes apparently.
Yeah, and I like my maids. I like my maids. Thank you, Nick. It's good to see you all. It's good to see all of you. Honestly, I've missed y'all. Oh my god, who are you gonna raid today, buddy?
Who? Well, I've got like 2 options. Got options.
And Nick lights his tater tots. Fair enough.
Of the 2, it's either Oracle or Mari. Both are streaming right now.
I mean, I'm more partial to Mari just because I know her, but you pick the one that your heart leads you to.
I think we've given them enough, you know, like holy shits and mind-blowing shit for tonight, so we'll send them off to Oracle for something more chill and relaxing to get our minds off of.
Fair enough. I'm excited to meet Oracle.
She's fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic. She's another friend I met through streaming, and she's just an absolute pleasure to be around and talk with, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, all of you people are the reason why I love even if I'm not that active with streaming anymore, I love that I did it just so I could get to meet you all and have these talks and just, I don't know. I'm getting in my feels now.
Are we
I
gonna
love
do the
y'all.
week schedule and then raid? Thanks for reminding me of that. I got time to do that real fast.
Yeah.
I'll swap over to just chatting, so I can do that. All right. Schedule. Boom, right there. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Pokemon Crystal. Just gonna continue where I am in Crystal. Just continuing on. I don't know where the fuck I am, but I'll figure it out sometime.
Can you walk in?
There we go. That's it. We're Pokemon Crystal tomorrow and during the whole week, basically. This whole week is Pokemon.
There you go.
Okay. Thanks for reminding me of that, Nick. I completely blanked on it.
By the way, don't let this guy leave without acknowledging how great his shirt is. No thoughts, head empty.
Oh, it's no thoughts, only sigh. That's my Kamiyoshi, bro.
There you go.
That is my Kamiyoshi.
Oh my god.
Alright, so thank you everybody for watching, commenting, lurking, and for the bits. Appreciate it a lot. Thanks again to Mochi for being here. I will be back
No problem.
tomorrow at 6 for some Pokemon Crystal. So, I hope you all have yourselves a great rest of your day. Let's send some love off to Oracle.
See ya.